Good morning, everyone. I'm Justin Noxon. This is Andrew Jenner. We're from Noxon Architecture, and this is our Shoreham House. So it sits on 8,000 square metres. It's on Bunurong country, down in the little coastal hamlet of Shoreham, on the sort of edge there of Western Port Bay. And so this is the site, and the client came to us. This is an original mid-century cottage. It's very basic and elemental. They were expecting us to knock it down, actually. And I think the key thing about the client is that they had this Danish heritage, and they wanted a family home, restful sort of country family holiday house. But with their Danish background, they were interested in this hygge, sort of calm, quiet, restful connection, place of connection. So with this original cottage, we sort of took a shine to a few elements of it, particularly the bluestone base and this coastal typology where it sits up elevated, living on the upper levels, and the rooms very modest in scale and size, but they did have this sort of really good balcony aspect and this connection to the tree canopy. So in our sort of setting of and looking at the site, it's bound by this coastal path that takes all the locals sort of down to the beach on the west and south side, and there's a floodplain, and it's really quite sort of boggy down this bottom part of the site. And then the other thing is that it's bound by these houses that before the client bought the property, they used to walk their dogs on it, they all look over the property, so the new owners were really keen not to sort of create some big barrier and block that sort of connection for the neighbours. So our early sort of studies and sketches, basically we proposed to retain that existing beach shack and really just spring out from that upper level into the tree canopy with this new extension as an extension of that balcony area, and to create a sort of sense of permeability and keep that beach typology, that permeability underneath. The other thing we had to be mindful of is the existing trees around the site, and so really we're navigating through that, and there's a pool adjacent too. So the original cottage here, when you we kind of created a glass connection link, which is a stair link, and this is the existing cottage, which was really used for utility and support spaces, the smaller scale nature of it, and the new extension pushes out down the hill, separated by these glazed link. You go up the stairs. The original cottage then is used for smaller sort of kids' bedrooms, guest bedroom, and then you move through into the new wing that as you move through it, it really opens up to the east aspect, and it's open and sort of relaxed, connected sort of living. So we use the sort of, I guess, inspired by the local swamp gum sort of trees that are on the site, that sort of protective bark thing, and the V joint, the V structure became just something we could capture and express through the site, and that sense of permeability underneath. And as you move down towards the end of the new pavilion, it just floats and hovers and becomes lighter and lighter, and just part of the tree canopy. Protecting from the west side was an issue. Obviously, that's the area where the sort of public walk by, but it's also the western sun. So this was about controlling operable shutters, the light and everything, and that sense of a protective envelope which wraps around from underneath into the sides onto the roof. It's about a 19 rated site, and that sense of it floating. So here's the glass connection between the two, the original which we sort of restored. It is quite modest and basic, and then the new wing, but we tied the two together with the sort of battened shuttered windows. This is the west elevation, and then it gives way to that floating. And it's also a datum that runs through that we picked up that steps down the site, which just highlights that stepping. So you move in through the entrance, the glass link, the stair. This is this bluestone existing base which we had to redo, and it has this very simple, singular sort of original V panelling that we just added to. Simple, supportive spaces, very tonal, very elemental, very calm and quiet right through. So that's the sort of cottage spaces. A little bit of bling in the wine store, but again, celebrating the bluestone core at the heart of the original. But then you move to the new, and we have a different sort of singularity, if you like, which is the sort of timber. This is the playroom and sort of home office, if you like, for the kids area, but again, connected to that central circulation spine. That's the link of the original bluestone. The stair sort of floats between the two, and you move upstairs. So you've come up the stair here, the original cottage, and then this is the new pavilion, and there's a spine skylight that runs along the length of it. That's through there, and that really then takes in the eastern side of the site, which is the more private and distant sort of aspect. So this is as you pass into the new part of the wing and through kitchen, meals, living, and that eventually just sort of opens out into the canopy. And it's really all just about enjoying the colours and textures and sounds and so forth of the canopy. That's the sort of western side, so we've got the controlled sort of sunlight, but it gives that dappled light, but it frames the odd little vista and element. But that's a big day bed, and it's all about that sense of connection. Everyone's casual there together. It's a holiday house. It's bringing everyone together. Very simple, but just disappears into the sort of canopy. Then looking back from that end, you see connected back to the original dwelling, the kitchen here, and that's got a sort of slot window that looks out over the pool, but again, very singular, very sort of calm, quiet, and but you can then passive sort of surveillance of the pool and the young kids down below. That quietness goes through into even the little small spaces. The timber lining, that's the main bedroom. The timber lining is a sort of, I guess, an expression from the V-line joints in the cottage. We sort of took a different timber, but it's that timber panelling. And this idea of the outer skin, that sort of tough protective outer skin, and then a simple, singular, warmer, richer, singular thing inside. Looking out over the treetops. And it's an area that's really quite surrounded by lots of houses and, what's happened?
Remix.
And these are just the calm little small, but we didn't do much to these other than just bring them back to life a bit. Operable shutters, very singular, very calm. And restful, I guess. That's connecting back to the stair. And then Andrew just might show you just a few little construction interesting bits.
So what appears as a quite simple final product was complex in its design and documentation, particularly the connection to the existing and the stepping of the site that was due to the levels in the floodplain. So this is our coordinated model, which then led to the shop drawing, really refined and making sure that the fabricators understood our design intent, and given a lot of this is express structure, it was important. It's a double cantilevered floor beam with tensile ties, and then those V columns that reference the swamp gums. And then the open glazing meant that we had to brace through portal frames and wall trusses. The bluestone, we wanted to retain it, but it needed quite a lot of patching and extending, and we used proper pitches. We didn't want to use tiles or anything, so it had to be the solid ones. And then this glazed link, we were really careful making sure that the stair only kind of touched in two places. So it kind of floats in between the new and the old. And then that long skylight is fairly conventional timber trusses, but we worked hard with the contractors on site to make sure there's that uniform timber finish to give that singular internal space. And that's our Shoreham House. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.